Hello, everybody. You're in the right place. We're just waiting for a few more people to get on here. There was some confusion about the link, but if you can hear me, you're in the right spot. We'll be starting in just a minute. Hang tight. All right, we're going to get started here in just 2 seconds. We're just going to turn this on, switch our screens on, everybody, and love to have you all leave your name, where you're from in the chat while we get this turned on. We're going to have some fun here from Sicily. All right. We're going to hide that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sicily. My name is Jenn Mason, and I am here with you today, just hanging out from the lovely island off of the boot of Italy. And you'll see maybe popping in or out my husband and co-founder of curds&co, curdbox, and shop boards&co. And we're here to talk to you about travel boards. So this is similar to, I'm going to make sure I have my chat open here. So we have people, let's see. Oh, I didn't want private chat. I wanted comments. I want to talk to everybody. Hi, Gina. It's nice to see you there. And please put your name, say hello into the chat box. So you'll see a comments box. You can contact us however you want. We're managing right now our Facebook or our email account because for some reason Eventbrite didn't put the link in the right spot. So it was denying access because it wasn't giving them any, it didn't have an access there. So we've updated that, but there's also a link in the body of the email. So hopefully we're going to get the rest of our people here. We've got a lot of people coming. And we have some people who put up with the fact that we had to change the date for this project because while I was enjoying the lovely things that Sicily has to offer, I fell and broke my leg and spent 6 days in a Sicilian hospital and had surgery. And I know that sounds like the sequel to maybe Princess Bride. For those of you who are Princess Bride fans, raise your hand because it felt like a very, what was the quote, never go to war with land war in Asia and never fight with the Sicilian when death is on the line. It's a very interesting week. So anyway, who am I? And hello from Canada. Hello there, Patricia. See, we've got people with international. We've got at least 3 different countries on the line today. So who am I? My name is Jenn Mason. I am the founder of curdbox and curds&co. Curds&co is a cheese store and school, fine cheese shop and school in the Boston area. We have 2 shops. And I also am, the founder of, I'm going to pop some pictures up here so you can look at not just me. So This is Boards&Co. Boards&Co is part of our store. It's our online. It's basically a cheese board nirvana. So we have a full free online school there for anybody who wants to learn anything about cheese boards. We can only ship in the continental US or the contiguous US right now. Sorry, Canada. But the school is free to anybody anywhere in the entire world who wants to watch me doing videos or read our instructions, all that good stuff. We'll talk more about that later. And then I'm also founder of curdbox. So curdbox is a cheese and pairing subscription box that we ship out all over the country, the US country, not Italy, where I am now. And it's about discovery. So it's 3 cheeses, 3 pairings, and it's all around a theme. And that's kind of relevant to tonight because our box is all around a theme. We're going to talk about travel. And so that's what I do. Happy to answer questions throughout this. When we have time, when we break for questions, Matt will help make sure I'm not missing any good questions in there too. And but that's what I do. I'm basically a storyteller, and my story is, let's take this off. My story is cheese. And specifically, what we focus in on all parts of our company are cheese and things that pair with cheese, because there's safety in numbers. If you're an introvert like me, you don't like going to a party alone. I like to always bring a friend. And so when we pair cheese with something else, it's always a better experience. So to start, I thought we'd start, Matt and I. It's 9:30 at night. I know it's 3:30, but it is a Saturday, so it is acceptable. It's afternoon on a Saturday, and so I'm having some Feriato. This is called Charme. It's a frizzante white wine, and beautiful company. We've been to there. I'm passing that to Matt, but Matt, I'm going to give you a glass here. We are staying at an Airbnb, which is why I am drinking this in a great big red wine glass and not in something more appropriate for bubbles. But I wanted to start with a cheers to everybody. And, it's one of those great things to think about when you're going to travel abroad, especially to a place where they speak another language, is to find out what the traditional toast is, so that you feel like you're following all the best customs. So cheers to us. Let's set that aside and let's get serious. So I'm going to also stop this ticking border around the bottom, but we're going to talk a little bit about Sicily today. We're going to talk a little bit about our trip we have coming up, a little bit about our trip that we had before, and then mostly we're going to talk about travel boards. So let's pop up Ortigia, Matt. Excellent. So this is where we are right now. This is a little island. It's a little island off of a bigger little island. And let's go like to a higher level view. And I want you to be thinking about, you know where I'm going. You do know where I'm going. So I wanted you to be thinking about, when we do this, I'm going to try to say, like, because not everybody is coming to Sicily. I hope a bunch of you will think about coming to Sicily. But think about, even if you're traveling to Kansas City, or you're going to Toronto, or you're going to these places, like when I say Italy or Sicily, think about what the equivalent is for your next trip, or maybe your last trip, so that you are really getting the most out of this. So we have, my cursor doesn't work on here. I was going to point with the cursor, but you can see our boot here with Italy. And we have, if you look off the toe of the boot, you have Sicily. And now we're going to scoot in on Sicily more. And we are down here in Syracuse, it's, and then there's an island in here. It's part of Syracuse, so it's sort of like, there's country, the country of Italy, then there's regions. There's 21 regions in Italy. Sicily is one of the regions, and then it has nine provinces. And one of the provinces is Syracuse. And within Syracuse, we start getting into comunes and fractions, and it's very complicated, and I haven't learned it all. But we're in Ortigia, which is part of Syracuse, and it's a little island, and I can only see sort of here, but and then we get to Ortigia. So this is where we are. It's a beautiful area. I'm just it's dreamy. I am in a wheelchair right now because I'm not supposed to be standing. So there's two problems with that. One, Matt has to push me, and two, there are 17 kinds of cobblestone here at least, and some of them like wheelchairs and some of them don't. But it is hard to not put up with that because it is so beautiful. It literally feels like scenes from uh, Disney here. Like it just you feel in another world. You'll be walking down a little street that doesn't have a car, doesn't allow cars, between the houses. And then you'll look into, a little archway, and there is a courtyard. And in the courtyard, there's people playing music, and they're playing music, and there's plants going up steps, and it is the most beautiful thing. And you want to know the people who live there so you can walk in and not be weird. But so I'm in a beautiful place. It's fantastic. We've been all over the East Coast, and we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to move on to our tasting board. And so this is actually all where we have our little tags here is where we're taking our next trip, but it's also a good slide. We'll bring this back later to talk about the trip, but it's a good slide to show you where Matt and I have been. So we have been up here on Mount Etna, and we went to a place called Lingua Glossa and Piedimonte, which translates to, we think, foothills. It's foot and mountain. We went over here to Taormina. This is a beautiful location, and the place we stayed there in October for our trip. We're going to stay there for our next trip. Then we came down to Catania, and we met with friends. That's where I spent 6 days in the hospital. It was lovely. And now we are working our way down here to Syracuse. Our trip will go to other spots. We'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to give you a sense of where we are, because through this whole thing today, I'm going to hide this so you can see my face again. We're going to show you how to do this, but also teach you a little bit about some of the foods of Sicily so that you can be thinking about this for your foods of Kansas City. I don't know why I keep taking everybody to Kansas City, or your foods of Southern California, or your foods. I have a friend who's just getting back from Egypt, and thinking about how we can share this. So first of all, what is a travel tasting board? It's not really a cheese board. It could have cheese on it. It could be all cheese, in which case it'd be a travel cheese board. But it's really more of a glance at your entire trip, or a glance at the things that people make in the place that you've been in. It's more temporary, but way more interesting than a slideshow to share with people. And, it's a way to bring people together. If you've traveled with people, it would be great for like a reunion get together to do a little tasting board. It's great if you've, say, done a fantastic trip for a special event, like an anniversary or a honeymoon, and then to be able to relive this at another time. So we build this very similarly to how we talk about building a travel tasting board on as we build a cheese board on shopboards&co.com. Again, shopboards&co.com has so much free education for you. There's a whole classroom, and it will teach you about all the different kinds of cheeses, all the things that pair with them, what pairs with each cheese, how to cut the cheese, how to prep the cheese, how to lay out the cheese. It's there's nothing like it in the world. And when we made it, because we're passionate about giving you guys the information to just have fun with food and to stop eating boring and all that good stuff, and to sort of just celebrate life and specialty food makers, all that good stuff. Okay, so I want to stop real quick and see if we have anything in the comments before I go on. No, we're good. Oh, somebody loves Firiato wines. Yes, me too. And we do carry some. If you're local to Boston, we do have some in our store. It is hard to find Sicilian wines in at least our part of the country, and so when we find them, we bring them in. Okay, so I'm going to switch to our 2 screen here so you can see this little board. So this is, if you're doing a travel tasting board, you probably are either doing it in one of 2 places. you're either doing it while you're on the road or you're doing it once you get back. So if you're doing it once you get back, you use whatever kind of board you have. If you're doing it on the road, you have to be a little more creative. So I cheated because these are a foldable, renewable sort of resource boards that we use in our store, and they fold flat and they're easy for me to pack, so I put them in my suitcase. There are disposable boards. We have some that are not like this with the sides, but are boards that you could take with you in a suitcase on Shop Boards and Co. But we're at an Airbnb. We could take 3 dinner plates and put them together and sort of make a little collection of plates. They might have a cutting board there. If you're traveling to a friend's house, a great big cutting board, like something they might use for a roast. A platter, it doesn't have to be a cheese board. It could be like the turkey platter. It's going to get covered with beautiful food, and think creatively. You could be really fun and use like some brown paper like you'd use for wrapping packages for shipping or something, and cut that into your shape and just put that on your right where you're going to serve it from, and make it there on place. That's a similar thing to like making a grazing table, where you would just cover the table with something to protect the table and then just get all the food on there. So think creatively when you're doing this. You can also do it if you feel like you want to pack something, a melamine board. They make sort of a lightweight plastic melamine. It's not a throwaway plastic that you could fit into your suitcase if you wanted. Now that's kind of extreme. I normally wouldn't take something with me. I would make do with what I have, but I'm teaching the class, so I wanted to have something nice here for us. Okay, so we have our surface. Now, our process for putting these things together is I'm pulling up my little thing here, is 3 parts: anchor, feature, fill. That's the 3 steps to making a cheese board, a charcuterie board, a travel board, a s'mores board, a brunch board, a breakfast board, a dinner board, a dessert board, is anchoring, featuring, and filling. So we're going to start with our anchoring, and we're going to start showing you some of what we have. So what do I mean by anchoring? Anchoring are the things that they need to go in a bowl, or they're in a jar, or they're in something. They have a container, and they sort of become some structure for you. Like you can spread out cheese sticks and cheese bites in any shape you want, but you can't spread out a bowl of olives. It's like a bowl is a bowl is a bowl. So I think about anchoring as those pieces that are going to be special. They can't really be changed in their original shape. This could even be like a whole wheel of brie. Today we're going to look at different things. So we have some, let's see if I think I could do this magic influencer thing where I stick my hand behind it. This is essentially a tomato jam. I haven't tried it yet, but I have tried other food. This was, interestingly enough, at a place called Bar Americano, and it was a fantastic place. For those of you in the Boston area, it reminded me of Tape. And we have some essentially, it's a pepper jam, which we walked to this lovely market. Let me show you the market, because some of these things came from every town here has a market. This one is open. Let's see, where did I put the markets? Here we go. This one is open every day but Sunday until 1 o'clock, Matt. Yeah. So, and there is beautiful produce, and they shop so local here. This is like the amazing thing about Sicily, and why Matt and I have come to love it so much. Why we're here on a 2-week vacation. Well, okay, it's not really a 2-week vacation. It was like a 5-day vacation, 6 days in the hospital. I'm not bitter at all that I tripped and fell. But beautiful market. There's fresh fish. Fish that I have never seen before. I'm going to need to hire a fish expert to like show me and talk to me, tell me how to pick out, a fresh fish. I know about the eyes and stuff, but I don't know what these are, to know what they're supposed to look like, and then how to fix them, because they're fish I've never had before. So anyways, that's our market. I'm going to hide that back. So some of these things we got at the market. We're going to talk about pistachios. So pistacchio is the Italian word. And oops, I'm turning it the wrong way. This is a pistachio cream. And we picked this up in Termina. And I hope, like, I've been studying Italian, so I tend to like use a little bit of my Italian accent that is very poor, and I hope that doesn't annoy everybody. But I appreciate you sticking with me. I have a picture of Bronte. So this is me telling my story through the food. So this is Bronte. That's Etna in the background, and it's a volcano that we stayed on, and we went over to Bronte. We kind of just drove through it, and we picked up some. We have some pistachios here too, but they have what's called a DOP pistachio. It's the green, it's the pistachio verde or the pistachio verde, and basically they have a special kind of pistachio, and they did all the paperwork involved to get it to be a protected type, which means it's more expensive. It's delicious. It is a higher quality, and therefore they have built sort of a infrastructure around pistachios. But pistachios in general you can find them everywhere. There's always pistachio gelato at every place. The pistachio cream, they have pistachio, in your dinner. So if you don't like pistachios, I'm sorry. But if you do like pistachios, I'm not sorry. So this is one of the things we're going to put on our board. I could put this in a bowl, but I'm traveling, so we're going to make it easy. This is a beautiful green color, and it is so smooth, and it tastes like heaven. I think if heaven had like a nutty taste. Oh my goodness, it is so delicious. So we're going to put that. That was a definite that we need to put there, and we're going to kind of decide where we want to put that. Let's see. We're also going to put pistachios. And I don't need them next to that. We had some that fell out. You can see these are the kernels, the pistachio kernels. And I'm gonna see if I can pick these up. So actually I forgot I have one up here. Hopefully that one, like backwards, forwards here. They are delicious. They're such a great nut. I love that I don't have to like bite the pistachios open. Other fun thing that we picked up at the market was some candied lemon peel. Let me pull that up here too. Oh, there we go. They also had orange peel, and this is just it's sort of, we're putting it here because besides being known for pistachios, right now it is winter still here too in Sicily. It's warmer than it is in our part of the States, but there are orange and lemon trees all over the place. We have had fresh squeezed orange juice that I don't know what I would do for this fresh squeezed orange juice, but the first thing we did when we got to Ortigia was go to the market and buy more oranges. And the Airbnbs all have juicers so that you can have it. And it is just amazing. And again, the thing I would talk about if I was sharing this is how the people of Sicily wouldn't think to eat fresh squeezed orange juice in any other time than when it's coming off the trees. It's just, why would you do that? They don't understand. We had a conversation with a Sicilian the other day. They're like, I don't understand. What are you drinking when the oranges aren't growing in the US? And I had to explain concentrate and stuff to her, but she was like, why? You just drink something else. And then when the oranges come back, then you drink it. I don't understand. So it's very, very interesting. And I think, living in the city where I can get kind of any food I want at any time, it's nice to sort of really appreciate that eating seasonal thing. So how are we doing on comments, Matt? You just want to speak up if we've got any? Feel free to pop your questions in there. I will stop. I will warn you, we're going to, stop for real questions. But okay, so we have we have our three. You know, I'm going to put this red pepper jam that I have on here as well. We're going to just open this guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this smells good. All right, now I'm taking the sticker off. Matt, take a smell. So this is, wow, this is one of the freshest, most, I want to say green pepper jams I've ever smelled. But I don't mean green it's not green, it's red. It's totally red. I'll show you guys here. But it smells like the peppers were just picked. It doesn't smell like overly sweetened peppers, but it's beautiful. Again, I could put this in a little bowl. If I was at home, I probably would put it in a bowl, although it is an adorable little box. And I'm going to tuck this one actually into a corner. We'll see. I might move that. So these are my anchors. So now we're going to add our features. The first feature is fun. So normally I do this with just cheeses, but I hope you guys know what these are. And they're huge. Like, look at this is the size of my head, and this is the size of the arancini. Actually, the funny thing is that I forgot to tell you, Sicily is the size of Massachusetts. It's not a big island, but it's a big island. So it's the size of Massachusetts. It has about the same number of people as Massachusetts. It's very similar, but entirely different. And the funny thing is that even though it's so small, you know, it's not the size of Texas, the size of Massachusetts, the east coast of Sicily calls it, now I can't remember which is which.
Arancino.
This is arancino. Arancino. One is arancino. Two are arancini. And then in Palermo, on the west coast, it's arancina, and arancine. That's the singular and plural. I'm learning this my Italian, but I forgot there for a second. So yes.
The Palermo ones.
See. So the Palermo ones are round, but the East Coast ones are pointed, supposedly to look like Mount Etna. They're volcano shaped. Okay, so what am I going to do? I am like, normally you'd have this for a snack, but I'm going to just cut this in half, both of them in half, and serve them on the board so that, and, you know, I could cut them in more than half. It's just Matt and I right now, but, you know, you can sometimes find here, what did they call them? Arancinotte? They just add the like sort of little diminutive onto the end. So I want to show you what's in these. So this is rice. It's an arancini, if you don't already know, and let's try this camera too, just in case, is rice and cheese. There's always a filling. It's sometimes, this is kind of the ragu one. It has peas in it sometimes. There's some cheese in there. And sometimes, I mean, you'll go to places that are arancini places that'll have like 12 different kinds. Yesterday, Matt and I had ones that were pistachio, had pistachio filling. And I'm going to take, let's see, I don't really want to put it right next to, I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to just, and the reason I call this featuring is that they're big. I don't want to just tuck them in somewhere. I want them to have a place of prominence. So I can tuck my little arancini there. The nice thing about these, for me, things I'm thinking about is these can be served from hot, and they're breaded. So they get a little fry on the outside. But they can be served hot or room temperature. I suppose cold as well, but nobody's served one cold to me yet. Lots of different kinds, but so you can kind of see how we've got a feature of the arancini. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see what else. We're going to feature some cheese here, but I want to put another feature on, which is the cannolo. So these are little cannolos. Well, this is a cannolo. I just did that wrong. Two are cannoli. In the US, we do this totally wrong, and we call this a cannoli. That would be like I don't know what that's like, but it's wrong. So one is a cannolo. It's really hard to like do it the right way because everybody will look at you like you're crazy, but two are cannoli. And I'm going to tuck them in. They're a weird shape. I don't want them to get lost, but I'm going to just lean them over here. They're a good feature. And why do I have cannoli on here? Well, I'm thinking about what Sicily is known for, and the cannolo it comes from Sicily. It was invented here, and it's filled with ricotta. But in Sicily, it's sheep's milk ricotta. So another interesting thing, and we're going to have cheese in a second, is that depending on where you are in Sicily, it's all cow's milk cheese or it's all sheep's milk cheese. And sheep's milk ricotta is like a daily thing that people will go out and buy. You eat it while it's 1 or 2 days old, and after that, we're going to try some baked ricotta, ricotta forno, and it's just so interesting. And we don't do it in the US. It's actually very hard to find sheep's milk ricotta. We do carry it every once in a while. Usually it's because we're doing a class, but I had to have that on here. So these are my non-cheese features. It's time for my cheese features. If you have any questions about features, let me know now, and we can sort of answer those while we're continuing to put on the other items. So because we were just talking about ricotta, this is a ricotta. I've already sliced all our cheeses today, and this is you can see the rind. Well, it has a rind. You're like, ricotta doesn't have a rind. Ricotta is like cottage cheese, right? So yes, it is. But they also take it and they put it in a terracotta pot. And it has sort of a basket texture. I think that comes from the past holding. And they will bake this. So that's not like natural rind, like that you might see on another cheese that is mold, that is patted down and helps age cheese. That is baked cheese. So this is a specialty here. Very hard to find this in the States. I'm looking for a recipe for it, but they just like, oh yeah, we just put it in a terracotta pot. They don't really say, like, there's not a special pot for it. I've cut these into little wedges because I have a wedge of this. And I think, let's see, you know what, this is going to be really nice with the pistachio. So, and you know, I'm going to use this to fan these guys out. So this is another reason why you have these like little, the anchors. The anchor gives me this thing to look around. So now I've got that sort of fanned out around that. Pretty simple, right? Let's see, what's next? We have some caciocavallo. Oh, Matt, can I have you grab the caciocavallo from the fridge? So caciocavallo is in the same family as mozzarella and the provolone. So I'm going to guess everybody has had something in this cheese type family. And Matt's going to get it out so that you can see. And this is a Ragusano caciocavallo. So this comes from a specific area, and it doesn't get carried on a horseback now, but the idea is that when they would make these, they could carry them down on horseback. So cacio is a cheese and cavallo is horse. So we have some of that. This is a very, it's a young cheese. It's not, it's similar to provolone, but I find it a little less. I find provolone to be, it has a quality that is almost like a sour quality to it, which is what I think makes it so great on sandwiches. It has like this depth of flavor that I like on sandwiches, but I don't really enjoy eating provolone by itself. But this I do. So there's a slight difference in that, but everybody's a little different. But we're just going to tuck that in because I think it's going to be really nice with our nuts. I try to put things together when I'm making a cheese board that are really going to go together, which is why I have the savory. I don't think you need to put this pepper jam on the arancini, but you could try it. Okay, another fun one. You know how I was saying that In some regions they do cow's milk cheese, in some regions they do pecorino. So this is a cow's milk cheese, and what we have here, guess what, guys? More pistachios. This is a pecorino cheese with pistachios in it. And now let's see, because it has the pistachios, it's kind of fun. And you can have so much fun when you cut cheese into triangles, because you can just like, we're gonna stack these here over by our cannolo and cannoli. And this is nice. The pistachios taste a little different because they've been in cheese, but they add a nuttiness, obviously, because they're a nut, to this box. So what are we doing here? We're really saying, like, these are the really most important things in my tray, because what we want to do then is like fill in the extra spaces where we have them. And that is sort of like the tertiary, the third layer. So I still have more cheeses. I have a beautiful goat's milk cheese. Now it's interesting and this is actually half. We cut one in half. It's a really tall. And this is a goat's milk cheese that just has curry on the outside. And I like this. I think I know what I'm going to put around this in a minute. So I'm going to tuck that here, and we're going to put something around this. Did you bring me the napkins? Yes, they're there. Sorry. It also gives me sticky fingers. Okay. Now, a really delicious cheese we had is another cow's milk cheese. And they don't get too pretentious with their cheese here. They'll just tell you, oh, it's cow's milk or it's cheese milk, and it's aged or it's not aged. That's all you need to know. They don't have they aren't known for like domestic blue cheese. They do things when it's in season. So when the goats are having kids, you get goat's milk. Other times you don't. So we're just tugging this in. But this is a beautiful cheese that is, I don't want to get you too hooked on it because you can't get these in the States like this. But this is also great. This is why you could do it when you're traveling, because you can try cheeses you haven't tried in other places and foods you haven't tried in other places. All right. I have one more feature, and then we're going to work on filling this board. And what we have now is a spicy salami, and I think I want to tuck this in around our nuttiness here. Now you can go crazy. Oops, we have a little piece of the salami there, and you can go crazy and fill these up. If you've been watching, are you guys Instagram? Like, do you love the boards that are going around on Instagram? Here's my thing on that. Sometimes they're so packed. One, you don't need to put flowers or herbs on your like, save your money. First of all, I can't tell you how many people I've like side DM'd who've put poisonous flowers on their boards, and ones that I'm suspecting have put bad flowers on there. Unless it's an edible flower, you shouldn't put it on the board. Even if you just went and got it fresh and you said, okay, I know roses are edible. We put rose flavoring and stuff. They are, but if you're getting them from the florist is not required by any means to make it safe for consumption. So it definitely most likely has pesticides on it. You don't know, it could have just fertilizer on it. You don't know what's on it. So really any kind of flowers, unless you grew them, they're organic, and then check for bugs. Or they are edible flowers. But honestly, look at how beautiful these are. The different colors. We have the bright sort of reds of the pepper and and our salami. This food is beautiful to spend it on the food, or spend it on, another bottle of vino. Or for you you celebrating dry, whatever month it is. There are so many fun drinks. You can find mocktails from the region and celebrate with that, or find drinks from the region. It's so fun. Once you start doing this, it gets a little addictive. And you can actually do this for a place you haven't been yet. You can research recipes, try them out. So maybe it's a jam, or a dip. Maybe there's a Middle Eastern dip you want to try, and you might have to go find the ingredients, and it's a journey, and food becomes more interesting and more meaningful. And then when you get to go travel to that place, your eyes will light up. And we were we were about food before we were about food, and we love to take culinary tours every place we go, because we learn about the people. Because what's more about people than the food that they put in their mouths? Okay, I am babbling. So I want to talk to you about, oh, look, I did anchor and I never switched to, so we're going to do this. I'm learning all my new toys here. So that is our feature. Did we have any questions about features? Guys, ask me some questions. I'm tired of hearing me talk already. I don't think so. Okay, last part of this is the fill. So sometimes my nuts are my fill, but because they're so special to Sicily, because they're in so many parts of this, honestly, they could also be, a lot of times the ricotta has, here it's very interesting. They might put nuts on one side and like a piece of candied orange on the other side. Like more often than not, the cannolo, when it comes, has something different on each side, which is fascinating, but also makes it difficult to share because I want both ends. I'll skip the middle, but nobody wants to take the middle of my canola. Okay, so we have this beautiful goat cheese. Now we're going to fill in. What are we going to fill in with? This is sort of like the extra stuff. So usually it would be like the nuts, or if I did want to put olives on a board and not in a bowl, I might put them here. We definitely could have put olives in here. We had some beautiful warm olives for lunch today. I am going to look at this pear. This is not an abnormal pear. I mean, this one's a little curvier. Sometimes they're straighter, but I had one of these. Weird way to figure out you like a new fruit. I'm not a big pear fan. I like the flavor, but I'm not a fan of the texture. So I'll have it. I also find like whenever I get them, I can never find them ripe enough. And by the time I do want to eat them, they're overripe. But this is a long pear. And this is what the dessert in the hospital food, better in Sicily than in the US, but still not great. But dessert was always a piece of fruit. And so I had a pear, and I wanted something sweet. So I ate the pear. And I was amazed. So we went to the market and I saw the pears and I bought pears. So that's our breakfast for tomorrow. But I sliced some up. You just have to core out just the bottom of this whole thing is edible, except for this little piece, which is so awesome. And so I sliced these up, and pears are great. Pears and apples are great. And I think this will be so good with this goat's milk cheese. It's bright and tangy. So when you're pairing with goat's milk, you're looking for things that will go with like lemony. Goat's milk tends to be more lemony. And I think to myself, okay, well, pears would, definitely go with something lemony. And I also could imagine curry being served with pears as well. I think it's an interesting combination, but I think it's one that's going to go very well. Let's see what else. We also have, well, I have some bread. So this is where I would tuck in bread and crackers. What I have here, and which is going to cause me to want to show you another picture, is a picture of Modica. So in a second, I'm going to show you some chocolate from Modica. So this is a beautiful town. It's sort of built into a hillside, and it has two main churches, and they fight each other, but not really fight each other. It's sort of like the Red Sox and the Yankees kind of thing, and it's hilarious. And they get out their patron saint and march it over to the front of the other church, and it's hilarious. I don't know. I love hearing the stories of this. We got to see Modica on our last tour that we did with our customers, and so now you should actually get to see the chocolate. So we'll hide that. So this is part of a bar. I have 4 pieces of this. This bar was super thick. This came in an orange flavor, and I think it had trying to think of all the flavors. I think there was a mint But if you've ever had Taza chocolate, so Taza, for those of you not from Boston, although I know Taza's all over the country, is uses a sort of Spanish Mexican method of, I think it's Spanish, but the Spanish moved it to Mexico. It's a cold process. And so there's sort of a grittiness to the chocolate, and it's basically the sugar crystals. I'm just going to tuck that in there. And they use this process in Modica. Why is that interesting or important? Well, one, it's kind of the only chocolate on the island. I mean, there stuff being brought in. I made chocolate chip cookies here on our last visit when I had natives, native Sicilians coming to visit, and I made them a cheese board dinner and chocolate chip cookies. But they have one kind of chocolate chip, and it was a very interesting chocolate chip. And then all the rest of the chocolate here, I'm sorry, they import like
English.
they import the English chocolate, but like Italian chocolate is all comes from Modica. And the interesting point there, learning about Sicily, thinking about what kind of board you would make, is that each town has its like thing that it does. So Bronte does pistachios. They don't do chocolate. Modica does chocolate. They don't do pistachios. Ragusano, which is down on the lower point of Sicily, does cow's milk. They don't do sheep's milk cheese. Up in the north, they do sheep's milk cheese. Arancino, Volcano on the East Coast. Arancina, round West Coast. Like we were joking about this on our tour last time, that it feels like people just they said, okay, these are all the things we can make. What do you sign up for? What you would like? Give us your top three choices for what you would like your specialty to be in. We'll like let everybody know. So the last thing I have here is just some bread I've sliced up. I would tuck that in if I had crackers. If you have a board that is too full, you do not need to put your crackers on or your bread on your board, whether it's a cheese board, a charcuterie board, or anything else. It's a good way to fill it if you think you need to. I was talking before about, trends and Instagram boards, and a lot of times they pack it so full that you can't actually cut the cheese that they've put on there. So I like to leave a little bit of space for you. I like to leave space for your hand to go in there for you to get things. The only thing I have left really to do here is to think about like, okay, well, maybe these guys are a little sticky because they're sweet. And so maybe I'll put my little utensil there. The pistachio cream. I think this is, look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. And you can warm this up and put it on some ice cream or some gelato. It's so good. And let's put a spoon in here. And you can also be thinking about, so this is our board. I'm going to remove our fill thing here. But how do you do this at home? How do you do this later? Think about or look for little pieces like this. You could do a smaller board. You could just do it for you. Like we would like to, just have a little board for us when we go home. Check out what you are allowed to bring back from where you are. So if you're in a foreign country, make sure you can bring food back or what food you bring. Don't put something like this in your carry-on bag because, well, I guess this is small enough you could put it in your, but I accidentally left a big jar of Belgian chocolate sauce in my carry-on bag. I forgot, and then they had to confiscate it. I was so sad. I was so sad not to bring Belgian chocolate sauce. So think about looking for small versions of this that you can still, carry home, and you're not going to weigh down your bags. You're not going to get in your overage. This, by the way, this chocolate from Modica is, this is the sale. It's not for sale. Sale is salt. It was for sale, but that's the word for salt. And it's known, Modica chocolate is sort of known worldwide. So, we talked also about collecting recipes. So if you're going to make this at home and you want to make you wanted to have arancino on it, you need to do the recipe, and that can be fun just as well. Think about taking a cooking class while you're traveling and learn how to make it. So many different ways to do that. I would love to know if people have like what question, like what, oh, crackers. So yeah, so I'm not putting any crackers on here because it's not really a thing they do here in Sicily. And you don't need, they just tend to eat cheese. They would just have cheese on a cheese plate and eat it. Um, it Crackers are, it feels like a more American thing. I definitely need a cracker when I need to spread something. This goat cheese I can slice and it can still be picked up, so it doesn't need it. But if I had a dip, I would definitely have crackers or bread. And you could even, pre-toast the bread if you want it. So we're in Italy, so I could definitely toast this and make it more of a crostini and tuck those in as well. But think about your crackers. You either want your crackers to offer something special, and especially in a tasting board, or to be a very neutral surface. So if you can't find a cracker that is from that region, or is something special, so I'm thinking like if I was going to do a board from Mexico, I wouldn't use crackers. I would use either corn tortillas that I cut up and fried or toasted on my own, or I would use tortilla chips. Depending on what I'm doing there, I might even cut up some flour tortillas that also I can toast in the oven. But I would think more about like, what is the item? If I was doing something from San Francisco, I'm putting sourdough bread on there, right? Let's see, other ideas. If you're doing something Argentinian, you don't have to, you can do travel boards for in the US, but if I was going Argentinian, I would probably use like arepas or something. If I was doing Texas, I might do cornbread slices that I toasted. So yes, you can do crackers, especially if you can find something local. The interesting thing is that in Massachusetts we have so many cracker companies. We have Ernesto that's doing gluten-free. We have Brewers crackers. We have the fun sort of mix. Is it a cookie? Is it a cracker? With Effie's, oat cakes, and Larks. So you can have a lot of fun with those as well. When I did the sort of American cheese dinner for our new friends we made last time we were here, we were able to get blue cheese. It wasn't, it was Italian blue cheese, but not from Sicily. And I had them have that with their, I think it's like Pandalora it's a chocolate, it's a very kind of a dry chocolate cookie. It's not like a shortbread, but it is crunchy and sort of dry. But with a little gorgonzola on it, it blew their minds. They had never tried that. So thinking about crackers and surfaces in a different way is really an interesting thing. Okay, so we have people from Central Nebraska. Hello, Deb. And we have Nicola from around the corner from our shop, who's just opening Hip Stitch, Pennsylvania. Krista, where in Pennsylvania are you from? My daughter's in Pennsylvania right now. So I'm wondering if you have any questions about places you might want to do a travel board, or that you're stuck and just does not make sense to you. So definitely put those questions in there. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for you to add any questions, feel free to drink your beverage. And I wanted to tell you a little bit, if coming to Sicily interests you at all, we only have, I think, a few more seats left. It's a small group. And let's see, I'll put this information up so that we'll put this on the ticker here. And if you want more information, you can go to curdbox.com. Nope, that is wrong. That is not what it should be. Let me edit that. Sorry, I have too many companies. It should be curds&co. Excuse my arm into the travel board. curds&co.com /escape. And that has pictures and all the information. We are doing this with a very fantastic gentleman. He is a food and wine journalist. I'm going to show him for a second. So this is Marco Stefanini. And oh my goodness, just one of the nicest humans I know. Helped us fall in love with Sicily. I mean, it wasn't really hard. So I guess maybe you didn't do that much work to help us fall in love with Sicily. We just did, but we've done a lot of classes with him, and he was just here in January at our store. Not here. It's funny. He actually lives in Sicily, but he's in the States, and I'm in Sicily now. So Marco is a food and wine journalist. He also imports wine to the U.S., so he helps us get some really good Sicilian wines in the U.S. And so his company is who we're working with. The information is on the bottom. It is a lovely, lovely trip. And let's see, did I have more information about the trip on here? I don't think I do. So it's May 28th through June 5th. We need people to register or let me know. Those of you interested, you can email me. Here we'll add. Well, let's see. We'll take this banner off. Let me put my email up here. So you can let me know right away. Like I said, we only have a few more tickets. It's a very small group, and Jen, I can't do things at once. curds&co.com, and we'll add that banner instead. We'll hide this one. I'll get better at this. There we go. So you can email me if you're interested in all tonight. Let me know. We need to give them a number. We're trying to give them a number by March 15th. So whether or not we have deposit or not, you should let me know as soon as possible, which will just let me make sure that you don't lose a spot. But where we're going, oh, thank you, Matt. Matt just pulled that up for me. So we are going, and you should definitely go to curds&co.com. We're going to go back and forth between those two banners, curdsandco.com/escape, and you can read all about it. We're going to be swimming in the beautiful clear waters here. We're going to take a boat trip. Stromboli is a volcano we're going to watch at sunset. It's always sort of going off, and we're going to be out in a boat and looking at it. It's safe. It's because it's always going off. It doesn't do the big explosion. We're going to stay on the fisherman. We're actually going to stay on one of the islands. We're going to come down to Syracuse. We're going to go to food markets. We are going to do boat rides. We are going to, last time we took a trip all the way around the island, and it was so much that we said, this time, let's just do the East Coast. Next time we'll do the West Coast. And the last trip, I'm looking at Matt, was really, it's an unbelievable trip, and really changed our lives. Just how we think about where we want to be traveling, what we want to be doing, and sort of how we are living our lives in the US. And just, it was so, the people are so nice here. I can't believe, I can say I actually enjoyed my stay in the hospital. The people just are happy to see us. They want to share their beautiful, tasty items like this. And it's such a gorgeous place. It's interesting because, and I'm going to go back to this bigger section here, is that it is so close to Africa. It has been influenced and taken over by the Normans. We were all over. We were in a Greek amphitheater and a Greek theater today, and we went to a museum, also an archaeological museum, that just showed like all the things they've been finding. It was the biggest archaeological museum I have ever been to, and it just was so amazing how much history is here. And then, when we're influenced by the sort of the upper corner of Sicily, I'm going to zoom back into Sicily here. You've got more couscous being eaten up on the upper west side, not the left side, of the island. You've got more Greek food and Greek influence on the bottom. You've got more Italian up in the top. There's the French influence. There's Spanish influence. It is amazing. And I just keep trying to tell myself, this is the size of Massachusetts. But I feel like as you go around the island, you are discovering multiple different countries. So if you've ever been to Italy and haven't been to Sicily yet, you do owe yourself, even if it's not on our tour, please, please, please check it out. It is fascinating place to live and a place to visit. And we would love it if you're interested in coming with us. The added bonus, Marco Scapanini, who does these tours, he does them all different tours around Italy. But the special thing with this is that Matt and I will be there, so you'll get the added bonus of, you know, sort of our insight to what we've seen, what we've experienced. I won't make anybody listen to hospital stories. I promise not to trip and fall on this trip. And but we can help give sort of the specialty food and cheese point of view as well. And Marco and his wine expertise are amazing. I'm going to hide this so I can just look at you guys. Do we have any questions or comments? Let's see. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Oh, Jane. Okay, so I had cousins in Bethlehem. It was a family of 7 cousins, but none of them are there now. They've all like grown up. They're all, you know, got kids now. And oh, sorry, that was Jane. So Meredith is downtown. So Downington. Sorry, I keep clicking on it. Downington, PA. I don't know where that is. Oh, that's in Philly. Outer Philly. Excellent. Our daughter is studying and is graduating soon from Penn State. Barry, Greece. Okay, so Greece is a great place to do this. So one, we have some of the products here, and finding a good local grocery store, which is going to be harder in the middle. It's probably harder in Nebraska, I'm sorry to say, to be able to find like a good Greek market and a good, you know, whatever market from another place. We actually do have, there's a great Greek market, Barry, that I can tell you about another time in the Boston area. And really the stuff they're getting is beautiful, beautiful items that are imported in. But, you know, while I was there, I would think about bringing back some Greek olive oil and some olives. I wouldn't try to bring feta. I wouldn't try to bring, you know, a lot of their cheeses they do have some more aged cheeses, but I wouldn't try bringing those back. But I would bring possibly, our next door neighbor is Greece and gave us some oregano, some home-brought oregano, actually from Mount Olympus, which I thought was very cool. And you could make a dip with that, or even like we have a warm food on this, and you could really have fun with that. I would definitely look up, if I got to travel there, I would see what do they eat for sort of antipasti or hors d'oeuvres, because those are the perfect things to sort of put on here. And those items tend to be like smaller versions of the taste and smells and things that you're getting in other places. Let's see, any other places that people have questions about? You should definitely let me know. And then I want to share, this is my little treat for you guys for joining us tonight, is that we would love to, well, first of all, we would love to have you follow us. And you can do that at Curdbox, at curds&co, and at boards&co on Instagram and Facebook. So that would be absolutely fantastic. We're actually hosting this on our Boards&Co Facebook site so that you could, we could sort of let people know about this site. I would love to hear about your experience on our new Boards&Co site. And if there's any lessons or classes that you don't see on there that you'd love to know more about, you can definitely email me. And then the other little special thing is that, let's see. So we're going to hide this is discount codes, because whenever we do a class, we always give a discount for people who are shopping in our store, but you can't shop in our store. Well, you can if you're local. But what we're doing is if you use the code Sicily at either curdbox, so at curdbox, you can have $10 off your first order with us. And we do curdbox, normal curdbox, and we now offer curdbox flex. So if you have, if you need a nut-free, gluten-free, or vegetarian box, this box is all three of those things. So it's great also if you have somebody in your family who always has to settle for like, I'll have 5 of the 6 things. This is all gluten-free, nut-free, and vegetarian is curdbox flex. But you can get $10 off your first order. And if you want to go to shop boards&co, so yes, we have the free classroom, but we also have cheese board kits. So we have all the cheese and pairings, and it comes in the most beautiful box. It comes with you get a little honey dipper and a little pair of bamboo tongs, and it's not actually this knife, but a little bamboo knife come in it. It's a beautiful unboxing process. If you've ever if you're a Mac or an Apple user, product user, and you enjoy opening the box, that was the kind of experience we created. There's a little dossier, a little envelope with instructions on how to lay out your box, some ideas, variations on it, what's in the box, who are the makers, all that fun stuff. Everything is wrapped and packaged. It's just it's a great gift, but it's also fun for you too. But we also have boards, and we have little spoons and little bowls and fun stuff like that too. But you can get 10% off your order. That excludes gift cards. This is all through the end of the month. And just use Sicily as your code and you'll be all set. All right. I want to see if we have any last questions. We're good. Well, you guys are quiet tonight. I hope that means tonight. It's tonight for me. It's the middle of the day for you. I hope that you enjoyed tuning in for us. We are going to send out by early next week, hopefully tomorrow, but it could be by Monday. Just have to wait to see what the process is to get the video, but we will be sending the link to the video so you can watch it again. You can send it to friends, and we'll send the information for Sicily, and we'll send you a little write-up on sort of the top 5 steps to building a travel board. We'll make sure we get that all to you. And if you know anybody who had signed up for this and wasn't able to make it in, we'll send it to everybody who has signed up for the class. And I hope you found a new way to think about food beyond a cheese board, and thinking about how you can sort of bring your next trip home with you and share it with friends. And I am just so excited to share this with you guys today, and to have this video available for other people. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. Did you have, let's see, do you have a question? Do we have a question down there? Ah, yes. Oh, good. I'm glad you're going to join us. Let's see. So there's more spots filling up. So make sure, again, if you want to, I'll put my information up there one more time. If you're interested if you think you're interested and you're like, I can't make a decision in how many ever days that is, send me an email, ask me whatever questions you have. Happy to talk to you about it, about the logistics of it. It's a 9 days. It's good. It's magical. It's beautiful here at that time. I can't wait to be here. So if you'd like to be in a small group and finally, take your mask off and get out in the world and just enjoy every day. It really is a magical trip. And we always we've done this once before and we had a fantastic group. So I think cheese connects us all. And I don't know, maybe cheese people are some of the nicest people I know. So anyway, I'm going to hide the questions board here so you can see my face one more time. I forget because I can see my face still talking that you can't see me. And that is just boring. So back to me. So thank you, everybody. It was fantastic. Thank you for tuning in with me. Thanks for those of you who postponed your trip for or the event for my trip, my literal trip into the hospital. And those of you who are in the Boston area, I'll be home soon. I hope to see you around. And those of you not, feel free to email me with any questions. That is my personal email, and I am accessible. I'm an accessible human. So have a great March, everybody. I hope some of you will think about joining us on the trip and thinking about checking out Sicily if you haven't yet, or if you have and you want to see it in a new sort of insider way. Well, we've got the plan for you. And try making a tasting board. If anybody makes one soon, send me, well, anybody makes one anytime, send me a picture. We would love to share it on social media, and go forth, stop eating boring, try new foods. And thanks for joining us today. Have a great Saturday. Bye, everybody.